Member for South West Coast.
Deputy Speaker, and I rise to speak on the 24-25 Budget Estimates Payout Report, and on page 87, finding 47 found that more than half of the department's transport and planning existing capital projects have been delayed in the 2024-25 budget compared to last year, and a quarter are delayed by more than 1 year. A few projects in the department's capital program have been discontinued, 2024-25, and one of them is the Rural and Regional Roads Package for an alternative truck route. So this leads me onto heavy vehicles on our roads. In my capacity as Shadow Minister for Ports and Freight, I meet with stakeholders across the portfolio, including port, transport and freight operations, and I'm often speaking with people in the transport industry. So one of the issues that's often brought to my attention is the lax regime of licensing of heavy vehicles, and this, they feel, is compromising the safety of road usage. So it would be fair to assume for a member of the public that there would be adequate training in place before people can drive on our roads, in particular those wanting a heavy vehicle driver's licence. And as we all know, to get a normal car licence, our L-plate drivers under the age of 21 need to do 120 hours of supervised driving before they can drive independently. So how many hours do you think a driver of a heavy vehicle would need to clock up before they can get a licence? 45 minutes. Yep, you heard me correctly. To get a heavy vehicle licence is actually a 5-hour process, costs $1,000, but only 45 minutes is spent behind the wheel. This is crazy. Large vehicles have large accidents, and according to the VTA, the Victorian Transport Association, our system trains people to be compliant with the law, but not competent drivers. And that's quite a stark statement. So there's a lack of priority on safety, and the industry has been crying out for this to be addressed by government for years. So it's not the industry's lack of willingness, it's the government's lack and need to prioritise increased training, safety and professionalism in the industry. That's what the industry are calling for, and the government aren't listening. Austroads conducted a 3-year study in 2020 for a national heavy vehicle licensing system with a national competency framework. It's now 2025 and none of the recommendations have been adopted. Now the state government through VicRoads are reviewing those recommendations. That's what's happening right now. So safety is already identified as a priority. There's a study being done. It's 5 years and still no change. This is not a government that's sounding like they care about the community and the industry's desire to make their industry more professional and more safe. So we see often serious fatalities that occur involving trucks, and it is a big issue, and rightfully so. So another study is done and then nothing changes. It's a cycle that keeps perpetuating. The time for reviews is over. It's time for action to improve road safety for all road users. After a 45-minute process, you can get a heavy vehicle licence, and so you can then drive something like a garbage truck. The licence holder can then upgrade to a semi-trailer after 12 months. But that doesn't mean they've been driving that truck for 12 months. They may have been riding a push bike delivering pizzas for that 12 months. There's nothing wrong with regulation. It's about unintended consequences of regulation. Nobody's saying regulation is a problem.
Through the chair,
I think the Minister has the wrong impression of importance of regulation.
Order.
So the government takes the next fee of $1,000 and upgrades the licence to allow the persons to drive a semi-trailer. This is dangerous. And most people driving their cars around trucks would know that this is quite a possible lack of driving experience. The government are dragging their feet. But the Allan Labor government are ignoring our roads, and we know they're ignoring safety. They've just spent absolutely minimal in the regions. Even the children know how bad the roads are in South West Coast. When I visit schools, young Elise from Koroit Primary School went to the effort to impress upon me just how bad they are. She'd gone to such effort, she counted from Koroit to Warrnambool and reported there were 385 potholes. Our roads are so bad that other countries are issuing warnings to their citizens about driving in Victoria. The Chinese Consulate General has warned that traffic risks cannot be ignored, as the roads in Victoria are in such a terrible state they are a hazard. And we've been banging on about the terrible degradation of our roads for some time, and even other countries are warning people about driving in Victoria. So the government are remiss in their